Alright, this is a little video on how to survive 2-on-1 or even 3-on-1 confrontation. Now, to begin with, you've got to drive one ship off. They're going to have to pull back and heal. So you want to focus fire on one ship, if at all possible, and get them down. You'll see this is Craig Hustler and Ragnara attacking me in my Curse Blade refit, and I am trying to drive one ship off while the other one gets into range. It's not easy to survive multiple opponents, and I of course die in this video, but it'll show kind of the idea behind the concepts that you need to work on to survive it. After driving the one ship off, you switch to the other ship. If they're good players, they're going to try to T-bone you or get on your stern. So pick the vessel with the most damage and keep it at your broadside. For instance, here it is the raw Mastercraft that I don't want to get on my stern, so I have to ignore one or the other. And the Triton is behind me, which isn't so bad. They can't put out too much damage. They're trying to take out my sails here to begin with. So again, I'm trying to drive off the raw and keep it from getting behind me. I'll use each of my repairs as they come up, but you don't want to use them too early. For instance, in this battle, I know there's no hope of running, so I get down to practically no sails before I pop my sail repairs. I want to stay maneuverable rather than fast. So the longer I can hold off on those repairs, the longer I'll have sails. Again, you're trying to drive off one or the other, so I'm going to drive off the raw here. And once the raw is out of range, it's going to heal up. Well, I'm not fast enough to catch the raw, so I turn into the wind, or you'll see the Triton is sailing in the same direction that I'm turning. So therefore, if he wants to get out of my firing arc like he is now, he has to turn around. Again, I'm going to try to... So now it's his turn to be driven off. Again, then you have to switch the way you're going. Notice I'm not turning into the wind. I'm trying to avoid that if possible. And I'm turning in the same direction that he's sailing. That way he has the hardest time to get out of my firing arc when I get to it. Now you'll notice the raw is out there just kind of hanging out, letting the auto repair do its work, while the Triton tries to keep me in combat. So I've got to get this Triton scared off before the raw is fully repaired. Now I apologize for the video quality on this. I was lagging quite a bit that day, as you'll notice, but the concepts are still sound. Again, turning towards the way that the Triton is sailing and trying to repair my sails as they come up, ignoring my hull. And he's almost dead, so he's gonna have to get out of range now and repair up. So now it's time to switch again over to the raw. The raw has quite a bit of DPS, so my main goal throughout this fight is to keep that raw as far away from me as possible. The Triton, of course, doesn't have nearly as much firepower, so it takes a second place as to what's doing it. In these situations, of course, you want to use all your consumables. I used a expert gunner as opposed to saving the expert carpenter because I want to inflict as much damage as possible. You'll notice the raw's fully healed now, so I've again got to concentrate on running it off before the Triton heals up and gets back onto me. So as the Triton's off repairing, I'm focusing on the raw. Again, I try to avoid going through the red if I can help it. And I just focus on doing as much damage as possible. The Triton's coming back in. They think it's going to be an easy fight due to my low sales. And they were almost right. It could have gone pretty badly. What they're trying to do now, of course, is get to my stern, which has no armor, which you can't really help. You know, you're playing against skilled opponents, and they will get on your stern. You've just got to try to minimize that. So again, I take the nearest enemy, the one who's most damaged, etc., etc., and I try to drive them off. Now you can almost kill them, but considering you're outnumbered and in a slower ship, you can't ever quite get them finished off before they get out of range, or not if they're good at what they do. I switch over again to the raw because she is going to get right behind me, and that's very bad for any of you who've had that experience, especially against a raw. So again, I turn towards the direction that they are sailing, so that they have to turn around to get out of the firing arc. And you'll notice they've almost got me killed. But luckily almost isn't good enough at this point. And you just switch to trying to drive them off. Now I've almost got her dead as well, so she's got to get out of combat, meaning Mr. Hustler there is probably going to come back in to try to keep me in combat. Now they're both almost dead. All three of us are almost dead at this point, but it doesn't really matter because none of us can engage, because obviously none of us want to lose our ships. So the Triton's range is just a little bit longer than mine at this point, so he'll fire a couple of shots just to keep me in combat, because of course if I am out of combat for 2 minutes I can leave the instance. While they're doing that, they're going to attempt to heal up, and of course what the point being is, while they're healing up, if you've done a good enough job, you can heal up as well. Due to the fact that it's taking them a long time to kill me, I am, my consumables and my skills are regenerating at this point, so I've just got to keep them off long enough to get my next repair. Again, the raw's gonna try to get behind you, and you obviously don't want that. So instead of heading for an escape point, which is miles off, you've just got to kind of hope you can sink one of them in a lucky shot. So you'll try to drive the raw off. As you see, I've kind of done.